Hello and welcome back to another episode of Reeltv. On our show, we report and discuss the latest movie news as well as bring you the scoop from behind the scenes in Hollywood. I'm your host, Connor Smith.
And I'm also your host, Eric Dowling.
And that was not on the teleprompter, so that just goes to show how many times I've had to hear that in my life. So today we're talking about summer movies, which is always exciting because there's Oscar season, and then there's like the slump of January, February movies. March, it gets a little better, and then by May, it's like action, sequel, blockbuster, sequel.
And Marvel seems to have always been that movie that kicks off the summer blockbusters. Ever since Iron Man 1 came out, I do believe they've been the trendsetter for usually when the summer movie season starts. And much like all the other years, Captain America, The Winter Soldier was kind of our first taste of summer movies. And that was awesome. We talked about that earlier on the show. But Marvel has another movie coming out this summer, August 1st, Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm super pumped about it. Vin Diesel, Karen Gillan, Bradley Cooper, Zoe Saldana, Chris Pratt. Yeah. The list goes on.
Isn't Seth Rogen in it?
Seth Rogen is not in it, but John C. Reilly's in it.
Okay, that's
And it's going to be awesome. James Gunn is directing it. It's going to be quirky, off the wall, everything that you won't expect from a Marvel movie, but you will expect. It's going to be just... I don't know. It's going to be so different but so similar, and it's going to be awesome, and I'm so excited.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. I think it'll be pretty good. I think my most anticipated summer movies, number one is probably Godzilla. Not going to lie. I just think everything leading up to it looks like it's going to be top-notch. The effects look great. The cast is great.
Is incredible.
The director's great. I just think
Can we just pause?
The promotion has been great.
But can we just pause and talk about this cast for a minute?
Aaron Taylor Johnson, Bryan Cranston,
Elizabeth Olsen,
yes,
Ken Watanabe, or like whatever his name is from Inception, the Asian guy from Inception.
Matthew Broderick, Rene Russo, JK.
But we're gonna just forget about Godzilla 2000 because it was sort of really terrible.
I like it.
I mean, I like it for almost for its camp value now. I mean, Matthew Broderick tries to be taken seriously, but it's like at the time I was absolutely in love with it. I became this huge Godzilla fanatic after that movie, so I can't say that I hated it, but it's one of those movies that you look back, you're like, how did I actually like that movie? But
I like it. I own the Blu-ray, not gonna lie, no shame. I enjoyed the crappy 98 Godzilla, but
continuing that trend of crappy though, let's
TMNT, right?
Yeah, and all other Michael Bay movies. So we got Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with Michael Fisher from Dark Knight, Prison Break.
Yeah.
Other couple of things. And also Johnny Knoxville's in it. A couple other...
Not gonna lie, the character designs really turned me off.
I know originally...
I don't like the design of the turtles, and I might get used to it with the movie. I really think the only genuinely good TMNT movie is the first with the animatronics, and the second one's okay.
Yeah.
The third is crap, and the CGI 2007 one was okay. It was just all right.
I'm really skeptical about this movie because I know that when they first pitched it and it got leaked on the internet, it was supposed to be they were aliens, not radioactive turtles. So if they continue with this, that makes me upset for a number of reasons because that's like almost changing the canon of the story and making it like Transformers and everything else that Michael Bay has touched except the island, which will forever be the only good thing that man has done ever.
I disagree. I like The Rock and Armageddon.
Okay, well, I haven't seen those yet, so I can't fully judge, but...
And I'm not going to lie, I am actually looking forward to seeing Transformers 4. I don't think it looks great, but I kind of like that when you reboot a franchise, they're genuinely rebooting this franchise. No more Sam Witwicky, no more boobs from Megan Fox and the rando from the third one. Wheatley. And Optimus Prime looks different, Bumblebee looks different. The whole design of the Transformers and the way that they move and transform is completely different than the original trilogy.
And also, I'm a fan of Mark Wahlberg, so I'll support anything that man does because he seems like one of the most genuinely nice people in Hollywood. And the fact that he's in this movie replacing Shia LaBeouf, probably one of the least liked people in Hollywood, that makes me really want to see it. Michael Bay, honestly, what have you done with Hollywood? I think
He's
everything.
not that bad. Everyone hates on him all the time. He's not.
He's
Transformers
pretty bad.
2 was bad.
Transformers
3
3
was not bad.
Transformers 1 was okay, but it's an indulgence in promotion. We're gonna stop talking about Michael Bay
Okay,
though,
all I'm
and
gonna
other
say
things.
is that the last hour of Dark of the Moon, where it was Chicago, right? Literally destroyed. I was loving that.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of buildings getting wrecked and property damage, and you know what I mean. I don't know.
But
Random, but also
comic book movies that are also coming
superheroes.
out.
Let's briefly touch on Amazing Spider-Man
all right.
and X-Men. We got Guardians already.
So, Amazing Spider-Man 2, continuing the story from Amazing Spider-Man 1 with Andrew Garfield, Emma Stone, that whole cast.
Villains are Electro
crew.
and Rhino and Green
Green
Goblin
Goblin
and literally Mark Webb's like, let's add this guy and this guy and
Yep,
this guy
and
and this
there's
guy.
also potential that Venom's in it. There's references to Vulture, Dr. Octopus. All of this is from the trailer, the first trailer that came out.
The
you
trailers,
can see this.
I've stopped watching the trailers.
Oh, I
I
have
watched
too.
the 3-minute one with the Super Bowl, and that was the last time
Yeah.
I watched one of the trailers because they're giving too much away.
I agree, and like I really hate the design of Green Goblin. Like I get it, they're trying to do something different than what the comic books are, but he's not the comic books. Like the Green Goblin's supposed to be this intimidating figure. I liked the Sam Raimi,
The William Dafoe
Willem
outfit
Dafoe.
is so goofy, but I love it.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. And
I
like,
adore that movie.
I love that, and like that was an awesome Green Goblin. That was my first like real foray into what Green Goblin is and everything, and I thought that was so cool. I still have a little Green Goblin action figure in my room.
MJ
so-
and I are gonna have a hell of a time.
Exactly, and like I don't know. I think Daniel DeHaan, he's a fantastic actor. Chronicle.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he really showed us stuff in Chronicle, and I think that he will do a good job as Green Goblin, but I just am not a fan of their vision of it. But also, continuing the 20th Century Fox, Sony, not Disney Marvel movies. X-Men Days of Futures Past.
That looks
I
awesome.
think it looks amazing. Peter Dinklage is new to it. We have Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch, who will be in Avengers Age of Ultron, but differently. I'm not a huge fan of Quicksilver's like character design. Like I don't know, like if you like know what he looks like from the comic books, he's too like street now and urban, and like not even like the ultimate urban, but like
I kind of feel like this movie might be a bit overstuffed, almost because there's so many X-Men to touch upon. But really quickly, my most anticipated sequel of the summer, aside from Amazing Spider-Man 2, is definitely Dawn of the Planet of the Apes. Because that first one surprised me like no other movie. I was in awe with that movie and how much they humanized these apes.
And I think
incredible. I love Andy Serkis. Incredible visual effects, incredible performances. I'm really excited for the second one.
and Gary Oldman's in it, which will make it even better. James Franco's character is dead, supposedly. They just announced that like the other week.
Really?
I didn't really know that he was supposed to have died. But
Also, Maleficent.
Yes, that
Super
looks
pumped for
cool.
Maleficent. I think Angelina Jolie will do an incredible job with that role. And if you've seen the visuals, the way she looks and her horns,
it's like
just
Alice
the
in
way-
Wonderland, but better.
Yeah, and I mean, it looks like it might be a little bit of like visual overkill, like CGI overkill, but I think it could
Yeah.
be good. Anything else, like top couple that you're excited for?
Not that I can think of, but guys, stay tuned. We'll be right back with more from Hollywood.
How to Train Your Dragon 2. Excited for that. I just wanted to keep talking forever.
Welcome back to Reeltv. My name is Gabe Kaan.
And I'm Colin J. Vliagin.
Next Friday, The Amazing Spider-Man 2 and Walk of Shame are being released in theaters.
In The Amazing Spider-Man 2, Peter Parker finds that his greatest battle is about to begin. For Peter Parker, played by Andrew Garfield, there's no feeling quite like swinging between skyscrapers, embracing being the hero, and spending time with Gwen, who's Emma Stone. But being Spider-Man comes at a price. Only Spider-Man can protect his fellow New Yorkers from the formidable villains that threaten the city. With the emergence of Electro, who's played by Jamie Foxx, Peter must confront a foe far more powerful than he, and his old friend Harry Osborn, played by Dan DeHaan, returns. Peter comes to realize that all of his enemies have one thing in common, which is Oscorp.
In Walk of Shame, Elizabeth Banks plays a TV reporter who dreams of becoming a news anchor. Her dream is compromised after a one-night stand leaves her stranded in downtown LA without a phone, car, ID, or money, and only 8 hours to make it to the most important job interview of her life.
It's going to be a funny movie.
Yeah, I love Elizabeth Banks.
Sorry, Thrawn trilogy fans, but it looks like J.J. Abrams won't be using the expanded universe for Star Wars Episode 7, or any of the upcoming films for that matter. Despite being a beloved and integral part of Star Wars mythos for countless fans, it is not being considered canon for the upcoming films, though Lucasfilm President Kathleen Kennedy promises that it's not being discarded. The decision has been made in order to give the creators of the upcoming films more creative freedom, now that they won't be tied to stories written that took place in a post-return of the Jedi Star Wars continuity. The EU content will still remain in circulation, but will now be presented under a new banner called Star Wars Legends.
As it turns out, Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman won't be the only heroes appearing in the upcoming Man of Steel sequel. After months of rumors about his inclusion of the film, we now have official confirmation that Victor Stone, aka Cyborg, will make an appearance, and that Broadway actor Ray Fisher has been cast to play him. He reportedly won't have a major role in the film, and is instead being introduced in order to set him up for a larger role in future DC Universe films. Cyborg was affiliated with the Teen Titans for a long time, but has joined the Justice League in the newly rebooted New 52. He had a major role in the animated film Justice League War, which could serve as a great piece of inspiration for Zack Snyder on how to bring this character into the world.
Peter Jackson's Hobbit trilogy is coming to a close this December. And until this week, we were all calling it Hobbit, There and Back Again. However, the film has now been given a new title, which unfortunately is a bit longer and will be even harder to fit on a theater marquee. The film is now titled The Hobbit, The Battle of Five Armies, which has a bit more of an action-y feel to it than There and Back Again. Instead, it sounds like the inevitable trilogy box set will be called There and Back Again, which makes sense considering that's a title that encompasses Bilbo's entire journey.
Over the next few years, we'll be seeing several live-action adaptations of beloved books and fairy tales that once graced Walt Disney's kingdom, like Sofia Coppola's The Little Mermaid, David Yale's Tarzan, Kenneth Branagh's Cinderella, Joe Wright's Pan, and two versions of The Jungle Book, one by Andy Serkis over at Warner Brothers, and one by Jon Favreau for Disney. Favreau's adaptation seems to be the farthest ahead, and already has a release date for October 29, 2015. Idris Elba has already been tapped to play the villainous tiger Shere Khan, while two new cast members were added this week, Scarlett Johansson and Lupita Nyong'o. That sounds very cool. Big fan of Idris Elba. Academy Award winner Nyong'o will play Baksha, the wolf who adopts Maui. Johansson will be lending her seductive voice for the hypnotizing python Ka. That's a great cast so far, and with more big roles left to fill, expect more casting news in the coming weeks.
Another beloved horror franchise is coming to the small screen, as Deadline reports that Jason Voorhees is headed to TV. That's right, Friday the 13th is headed to small screen, from Emmett Furlow-Ass's Films and Crystal Lake Entertainment. The original film's director, Sean S. Cunningham, will serve as an executive producer, which means that the show will hopefully capture some of the essence of the storyline that sparked the long-running series 34 years ago. Former creature designers Bill Basso and Jordu Shell have been attached to write the hour-long series and will reportedly reimagine Jason in multiple time periods, whatever that means.
Very cool.
It's going to be pretty scary.
Yeah. That's all we have on the Hollywood Buzz. Stay tuned for trivia. Thanks.
Welcome back to Reeltv. And right now it's our last segment for today's show, Reeltv Trivia again. I'm your host, Brian C. Capon, and let's meet our contestants for this semester's second to last game.
All right. My name is Gabe Cohen.
I'm Rachel Hine.
And I'm Adam Murray.
All right, and name the one movie that gets you pumped up, because finals are coming up soon.
Whoa.
I'm going to say Pitch Perfect because I don't know. If you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about.
I'm going to say She's the Man because I think it's hysterical and it always makes me laugh.
I gotta say Remember the Titans or A Time to Kill because the last speech that Matthew McConaughey gives.
Mine is Kill Bill, because honestly, all that blood and gore and stuff gets the adrenaline pumping.
The Crazy 88s. Or
Yep,
crazy,
that's
a wild scene.
All right, fantastic. Well, are you guys ready to play today's game?
Yeah.
Always
All right.
ready.
Today we're talking about the most up-to-date film and TV news. I created these questions based on today's news stories. Let's start playing. Captain America: The Winter Soldier, for the last 3 weeks, has been the top new film in theaters. It's currently grossed more than $220 million worldwide. However, this Friday, one new film toppled it in ticket sales, ending its high-flying status as numero uno. Which film that opened in theaters recently toppled Captain America? Is it A, The Other Woman, B, Transcendence, C, Brick Mansions, or D, Heaven is for Real? Adam.
A, The Other Woman.
The correct answer is A, The Other Woman. It came out this Friday and made $9.3 million.
not gonna guess?
We didn't even get it.
Okay.
In its opening weekend, knocking Captain America down. I would have let you answer, but the trivia thing is moving, so and we've seen it anyway.
That's a good point.
Okay,
That's a
keep
good
going,
point.
keep going.
All right. So
We're
the
good.
first half
Just
is
kidding.
Our next question is about IMDb's newest poll of the 250 best films. Which of these films is highest on the list in the top 250? These are all on the list, but pick the one that like people say is the best. Pulp Fiction, Forrest Gump, It's a Wonderful Life, or Schindler's List. Gabe.
I'm going to go with A, Pulp Fiction, one of my favorite movies.
You were correct. It is Pulp Fiction. According to reviews on IMDb, Pulp Fiction is one of the top movies above all the other ones.
It's number 4, right?
The correct order is actually Pulp Fiction, Schindler's List, Forrest Gump, and It's a Wonderful Life. Now, you guys are all going to get this question, but it'll just be the quickest hand. Our last question of the day is about the film Jersey Boys. Jersey Boys is set to be a musical biopic about the rise and tough times of the 1960s Four Seasons musical group. But who is directing this film? Joseph Gordon-Levitt, Clint Eastwood, Steven Spielberg, or the Weinstein brothers? Okay. Since you already discussed this earlier, and since Clint Eastwood was clearly on the marquee, I'll give you all a point for that one.
Yay!
Victory!
So Adam and Gabe, you are winners for today. Sorry, Rachel, but you won a couple,
Again,
other
it's
rounds.
okay.
You did well, though.
I did.
You
I
did
did
well.
the other time.
Thank you,
Champions.
guys,
Good job.
and
How does that
thank you for
feel?
watching us here on Real TV.
Not Will.
Next week is our last episode of the semester. Be sure to stay tuned for it and come back to Real TV for the latest movie and TV news.